only RC, Ryan Clark, chilling, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And to figure when he's there, the weather looks all nice and snazzy. Look how comfortable he looks. Man in black and all of that other stuff. He's about to drop some NFL knowledge on us. There's nobody better at doing it. But damn it, hurry up and pivot your ass back to New York City with the rest of us, okay? That is an order. Watch your manners today, RC. I'm watching you, baby. I'm watching you. Dad, Wilbon, Big Perk, and the crew, everybody in the house today. Stephen A. and Shay. I like how that sounds. Oh, Mina's there too. Blessing us with her presence. I didn't see her until just now. I didn't see it just till now. Nice hairdo, by the way, Mina. Drop the knowledge as always. First Take is in the house. Holla.
This Draft Takeover is powered by Shopify.
People that are in Pittsburgh ahead of the NFL draft tonight. Hello, Mina Kimes. Hello, Ryan Clark. How are you? Stephen A., good morning to you as well.
Good morning, Shay. Good morning, Shay. I'm not used to seeing both of them going for me. I'm not used to seeing both of them going for me, and I'm certainly not used to seeing both of them on the road while I'm here in New York City. But it's okay. Got love for y'all anyway. Appreciate y'all being.
That's right. Let's start with Ty Simpson.
And we brought the good weather to Pittsburgh, man. The sunshine.
That's all fine and good because we ain't there. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Will Simpson hear his name called tonight?
I don't believe that Ty Simpson will. Now, there's people that are trying to talk themselves into Ty Simpson. When you look at some of these mock drafts, it's people saying that the Arizona Cardinals will draft Ty Simpson late in the first round. But why? Why does a team need to move up and draft a quarterback that you're unsure about, a quarterback that didn't start the season off well against Florida State? But there was a run for Ty Simpson in the SEC where we were highly touting him as maybe a top 5, top 10 pick along with Fernando Mendoza. But when you watch the end of that season, and you have to be fair, right? There wasn't a run game in Alabama. Some of his outside wide receivers dropped the football and the protection lacked. But you just can't believe in a guy who hasn't played that much football that he can correct some of the things that we saw as faults toward the end of the season by just playing in the NFL. Ty Simpson is a guy that needs to sit, a guy that needs to watch, and a player that needs to learn. And you don't draft those sort of people in the first round when there are positional players that can make an impact immediately for your organization.
Okay, so he says no. Mina, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with RC. I keep hearing the Arizona Cardinals want Ty Simpson. Fine. But why would the Arizona Cardinals have to trade up into the first if there's no competition? It does just take one other team, but I haven't consistently heard any other team mentioned than the Cardinals. And RC expressed many of the reasons why. Ty Simpson's tape in the first half of the season is excellent. I do think he has an NFL caliber arm. He's clearly a very smart quarterback. But for him to succeed in the league, he would be a tremendous outlier in a couple of ways. One is the lack of experience. When you look at the track record of quarterbacks drafted in the first round with this few starts, it is a small group. Most recently, Anthony Richardson, of course, which didn't work out. So that respect makes him an outlier, the inexperience. But then on top of that, you also have his size. The number of quarterbacks at his size, 6'1", under 215 pounds, who have succeeded in this league is vanishingly small. You're talking about Russell Wilson, who put on some weight, Mike Vick, who was one of the greatest athletes to ever play the game, of course, if not the greatest, and then Bryce Young. Drew Brees is another prototype, but do you really believe he can be Drew Brees, the most accurate quarterback of all time? So I just feel like teams, to make this bet on him, you are having to overlook the inexperience as well as the size and say this tape is enough to justify a first-round draft pick. It doesn't seem to me that many teams are willing to make that bet.
Jay, as I've said on many, many occasions, I am a brilliant man because I know I'm not. I listen to those who are. And when I think about Mina Kimes and I think about RC, I think about the brilliance that comes out of my mouth from time to time. People thinking it's me, when all I did was steal it from them. I learned from them. They've taught me football, okay? All of these people here, right? Which is why it's very, very difficult for me to disagree with them. But I have to disagree with them based on the tutelage that they have blessed me with. I look at a guy like Ty Simpson. There is an 8-game stretch where the brother had about 19 touchdowns, just 1 interception looked absolutely sensational. Went through a 6-game stretch where obviously that was not the case. Only completed 60% of his passes, had about 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, looked like a shell of himself. There were some injuries that came into play, no doubt. You had receivers dropping passes, there's no doubt. We had an Alabama crew that couldn't run the football, there's no doubt. We had an offensive line that wasn't the greatest in the world at blocking and protecting their pass thrower. There's no doubt about that. I'm taking all of that into consideration, and then I'm thinking about what's the evaluation on this kid? What do they say about him here? Calm, poise in the pocket, okay? Solid arm strength, strong confidence, high football IQ. Defensive recognition stands out for a quarterback with only 15 starts. And then I'm thinking about where has Mina Kimes and Ryan Clark forgot where the hell they're at this morning? That's Pittsburgh. Have you seen the quarterbacks in Pittsburgh over the last 6, 7 years? Where the hell are y'all? Do y'all think y'all in Los Angeles with Matthew Stafford? Do you think you're in Buffalo with Josh Allen? Are you in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson? Are you in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes? No, you're in Pittsburgh, who's dependent on a geriatric to admit, yo, I'm going to come back and play at approaching age 43. Before that, what quarterback have you had? Of course you have to take a quarterback. If Ty Simpson is there at the 21st overall pick, you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. Unless Will Howard has shown us something that we haven't seen, we haven't heard, or anything like that, how can you possibly pass on them? Is it Mike McCarthy, the former Dallas Cowboy head coach, the former Green Bay Packer head coach, who is the guy that drafts quarterbacks and doesn't mind sitting them and letting them wait and develop? Isn't this the quarterback whisperer to some degree? A guy that's known for being able to develop quarterbacks? Well, guess what? Ty Simpson, the quarterback of a coach, by the way, whose daddy's a coach, whose football IQ is there, who's got some arm strength, who's got some talent. Yes, 4 years at Alabama. 3 years didn't start at all, okay? They only threw about 50 passes before last year. Then he comes on, he does what he does. But we look at all the things around Alabama, and there was a lot of things that were not what they once were, which contributed to the lack of production he may have put forth. I'm of the mindset, you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got to take a quarterback if you're at number 21. And if this is the second-rated quarterback in the draft, you got to take him.
Would it be a mistake, Mina, for the Steelers to draft Simpson?
I want you to take that exact segment, just take everything Stephen A. said. We're in Pittsburgh. We need a quarterback. We're picking in the 20s. And then just take out Ty Simpson's name and put in Kenny Pickett's, because that's exactly what all y'all sounded like during that draft.
That's not true.
Oh, we need a maybe he's not the best, but we just need
they didn't
a
sound like they were Kenny
quarterback,
Pickett.
and we're going to take a shot at one.
No, Ty Simpson had a better reputation than Kenny Pickett.
Honestly,
no, hold on.
I don't know about that.
Hold on.
Stephen A. I do not know about that.
Let me commit a blasphemous moment right here on First Take. Let me get on Mina Kimes before I give it back to RC. When Kenny Pickett was picked, one of the biggest reasons people were talking about him, it wasn't just about his talent, he had potential or whatever. They weren't talking about him like Ty Simpson. He was right there in Pittsburgh, playing for the University of Pittsburgh, practicing on the same damn field as Pittsburgh. So there was this relationship and this chemistry and how they knew of him. This is the kind of stuff they were saying. I'm not saying it was true, RC, but they were saying that. Yeah. I don't know, but that's what they were saying.
But Stephen A., what Mina's saying is absolutely right, because the difference between Ty Simpson and Kenny Pickett was in Kenny Pickett's draft, he was largely thought of as the best quarterback prospect in the draft, because if we remember, it was just him and Malik Willis. And so if you were going to draft a quarterback, Kenny Pickett was going to be the